He laughed at Denzel Washington in front of millions, thinking he'd embarrass him. 10 seconds later, that arrogant politician wished he'd stayed silent, as Denzel delivered a truth that shook the entire room. The auditorium was buzzing with anticipation, every seat filled as cameras rolled for one of the most talked about live debates of the year. On stage, two podiums faced each other. On one side, Denzel Washington, the celebrated actor known for his commanding presence and unflinching honesty. On the other, a high-profile politician with a reputation for his sharp tongue and dismissive attitude. The night had been billed as a clash of ideals. But what no one expected was the moment that would come to define it. About 20 minutes into the debate, the politician leaned into his microphone, a smirk spreading across his face. "Mr. Washington," he began, "with all due respect, you're just an actor. You play pretend for a living. Why should anyone take your opinions about real issues seriously?" Laughter erupted among his supporters, a wave of derision that echoed off the walls. The politician basked in it, arms folded. Wearing the smug smile of a man who believed he had scored an easy victory, the camera cut to Denzel. He didn't flinch, didn't even blink. Slowly, deliberately, he leaned forward, resting his hands on the podium. When he spoke, his voice was calm, measured, but carried the weight of a hammer striking steel. "You think because I make movies, I don't understand reality?" The laughter died almost instantly. "I grew up in neighborhoods where the policies you write decide whether a kid makes it home at night," Denzel continued. "For you, it's data points. For us, it's life and death. You sit in offices, looking at papers. We live the consequences of every signature you make." The politician's smirk faltered. The audience shifted in their seats, sensing the shift in the air. "I may be an actor," Denzel said, his voice rising slightly. "But my job is to hold a mirror up to society. And right now, that mirror is showing a man who thinks leadership is about mocking the very people he's supposed to serve." A wave of applause rolled through the crowd. Cameras zoomed in on the politician, his jaw tightening as he tried to maintain his composure. He attempted a weak laugh. "Come on, Mr. Washington, surely you can admit it's more complicated than that." Denzel didn't let him finish. "No," he said firmly. "It's exactly that simple. Leadership isn't about power. It's about responsibility. And every time you laugh at the struggles of ordinary people, you remind them how far removed you are from their reality." The room erupted in applause again, louder this time. The politician glanced nervously at the moderator, clearly unsettled by the sudden shift in momentum. Denzel stepped forward, his presence filling the stage. "You asked why people should take my words seriously? Because I speak for the people who don't get a seat at this table. For them, there's no safety net, no second chances. They're the ones living with the policies you pass and the mistakes you dismiss with a smile." The audience was on its feet now, applauding, cheering, some even chanting Denzel's name. Clips of the exchange were already hitting social media, trending within minutes under hashtags like #Denzel owns the stage and #instant regret. The politician tried one last time to regain ground. "With all due respect, Mr. Washington." Denzel raised a hand, silencing him. "Respect isn't something you demand," he said quietly. "It's something you earn. And tonight you've lost more of it than you realize." The audience erupted in a standing ovation. The politician, once so confident, stood frozen. His earlier laughter now a distant memory. By the end of the debate, the narrative had completely flipped. Media outlets replayed the moment endlessly. Denzel Washington, standing calm and unshaken, dismantling the arrogance of a man who had underestimated him. When reporters caught up with Denzel afterward, they pressed him for a final comment. He smiled faintly and said, "Mockery fades, truth doesn't." And that was the takeaway that dominated headlines the next morning, the night an arrogant politician laughed at Denzel Washington and instantly regretted it.